When an active war zone stabilizes into static front lines, the immediate casualties stop climbing as quickly, but the secondary damage compounds. Right now, thousands of young children are caught in the administrative machinery of an ongoing conflict. This chart shows the estimated scale of that displacement. According to Ukrainian officials and international observers, somewhere between 19,000 and 35,000 minors have been forcibly relocated to Russian-controlled territory since 2022. Only a tiny fraction of them are currently accounted for. Placing these children into re-education programs or adopting them out to local families triggered severe international blowback. It culminated in the International Criminal Court issuing an arrest warrant for Vladimir Putin, specifically on these charges. That creates an incredibly tense geopolitical reality. Ground combat is frozen in place, and macro-level peace negotiations have completely stalled. Both sides are fully entrenched. How do you extract vulnerable people from a situation like this? When adversarial governments refuse to engage on the big picture, the standard diplomatic tools simply stop working. Before we examine how this back channel was established, I want to thank today's sponsor, Shasta Unfiltered. If you're looking for honest news and entertainment from the North State, scan the QR code on your screen or visit their website to subscribe today. The sheer cold scale of the ongoing war makes traditional diplomacy useless for the fractured families left in its wake. You cannot negotiate thousands of missing children through regular channels when those channels are completely closed. In August 2025, First Lady Melania Trump bypassed those closed channels. She drafted a personal letter addressing the specific welfare of the displaced children. Rather than sending it through State Department intermediaries, the letter was hand-delivered. President Donald Trump passed it directly to his Russian counterpart during a summit in Alaska. Putin's response to that direct appeal opened an unexpected high-level back channel, connecting the U.S. First Lady's office with Russian officials and Ukrainian leadership. Public wartime diplomacy is almost entirely performative theater, where politicians speak loudly to domestic audiences. This back channel operates in total contrast, relying entirely on quiet, case-by-case operations behind closed doors. Skipping broad policy declarations and focusing entirely on targeted personal engagement created a functional lifeline where one did not exist before. This international push evolved directly from Melania Trump's domestic platform. In her second term, her Be Best initiative expanded its focus to include foster care and child welfare advocacy. This flowchart breaks down the $25 million U.S. government commitment required to operationalize the diplomacy. The funding is split into three distinct pillars: locating the missing children, coordinating their safe transfers, and providing care after they arrive. That third pillar is crucial. Moving people across an active border solves the logistical hurdle. The funding goes further, ensuring these children receive the psychological rehabilitation they require once they are finally home. Political goodwill alone cannot safely navigate people through active war zones. Success requires funded, verifiable tracking to turn a handshake agreement into a physical reality. This timeline tracks the verifiable results of that process. The back channel has facilitated 4 specific waves of returns between October 2025 and April 2026. Over 24 Ukrainian children have been directly returned to their families through this precise mechanism. It is a tiny fraction of the estimated thousands who are still separated, but each successful return validates the process. This verifiable momentum has bolstered Ukraine's broader national campaign, Bring Kids Back UA. By keeping global attention focused on the issue, the combined efforts have now facilitated the return of roughly 2,000 children overall. When you look at geopolitical statistics, the numbers are so large they lose their meaning. But at the micro level, a single reunification means an entire family, fractured by war, is completely restored. Even when nations are locked in conflict and borders remain violently contested, surgical, human-focused diplomacy can still physically return children to their parents.